If you love making money and wanna win,
Just cash.
if you love making money and wanna win,
Just cash.
we just chillin' and we vibing with our friends.
Just cash.
And if anything in doubt, we pass. Rookies all hate us cause we play the just cash. I put my money in a strong position. They try to tell me I can't win, it's just a stupid superstition. Cause when I focus, you will notice that I'm winning. We demolish every bookie, there ain't no competition. Now listen, I would never give you shitty picks and do you wrong. Come and join the Discord, tell these bets to hit the bone. Cooking up a parlay super under center song. We be really winning, this ain't just to make another song. So if you love making money and wanna win,
Just cash.
we coming in and we taking all the money.
Just cash.
They can't do nothing to stop us.
Just cash.
Hey, fuck these bookies, man.
Just cash.
They wanna limit me cause I win. Label me the enemy cause all I do is win. Just give us a try, this is where it all begins. I'm not gonna lie, all I know how to do is just win. If you love making money and wanna win,
Just
they wanna
cash.
limit me cause I win.
Just cash.
If you love making money and wanna win,
Just cash. Just cash.
Just cash.
love making money and wanna win.
Just cash.
We just chillin' and we vibing with our friends.
Just cash.
And if anything in doubt, we pass. Rookies all hate us cause we play the just cash. Love making money and wanna win.
Just cash.
We just chillin' and we vibing with our friends.
Just cash.
And if anything in doubt, we pass. Rookies all hate us cause we play the just cash.
Hey, hold up. Fuck, I lost too much money on that shit. You fucking fuck off.
Just cash.
What's up, Just Cash? How's it going, bro? What's going on, bro?
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. It is Friday. Coming at you with a Flex Friday. Oh, yeah. It is Just Cash. What's good, everyone?
I think they're excited, man. I think they've been winning all week.
It's been a solid one, that's for sure. We went another 4-2 yesterday. Had a bit of an unfortunate hook with one of them. Weird rotations and minutes, but Big Casp coming through with the literal final bucket of the game to clutch up for the point line. His RA was unbelievably free. And yeah, overall, I mean, hey, we haven't had a bad day at all this week. Back-to-back days, we went 4-2. That's a W. And the money lines were pretty strong yesterday too. So counting that as a win overall.
Man, for sure. And the kid is here, and he said, hey, guess what, guys? Those Ohio State props were free.
Yeah, they were. Oh my goodness. And not only the ones that we posted, but the ones that we also talked about came through. Like if you guys got the Bruce under turnovers, that was, unbelievably free as well. But yeah, man, we chopped that game up perfectly. And, even all the angles that we were talking about as far as like who could get over, landmines to watch out for. Just a really solid night overall. And shout out to, man, I forget who it was, but shout out to you in the listening section with the Nate Biddle under threes. Even though Tyler did suit up and Nate was trying to get us. He had like 5 3 attempts in the first half and he hit one. But second half, they handled business, ended up blowing the game out. So really solid calls there.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it when the people watching the show can give us some ideas and you look into them and be like, actually, that is a nice find there. So appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
But before we hop into it, do us a huge favor, hit that like and subscribe button. We are 8 subscribers away from 1K and super excited about it. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you hanging out here.
Dude, 8?
And also,
8 though, E? Only 8?
yes, just 8. That's all we need. Single digit.
Come a long way down the old mountain. Made that song up. Sound good?
I've never heard it before. It's quite a unique take on it.
All right, thanks. So what are we doing today? Fuck yesterday. We got to win again.
Yeah, so what we're doing today, we're going to hit you guys with a little double feature. We're doing a more brief stream today. There's only 3 games and really low amount of props. Today, technically speaking, we only have 2 props for tonight that we're interested in, which we'll get to here in just a minute. But tomorrow, Saturdays are always a massive slate, so they are already dropping lines. They dropped a little bit yesterday with the Purdue game, with not Purdue, I think it was Illinois. But we have a couple games even all the way out to Sunday, so they are just going full send. We should get a ton of lines, I would say probably within the next 2 hours. So we're going to have the nighttime stream later this evening at 1 Eastern, as usual. We'll be chopping up the Saturday slate, see if we can find some more plays before it gets too late. And then, yeah, man, I mean, Saturdays have been pretty stellar, so I'm super excited.
No, I love those days. That's the thing. Those days are really fun, and you get excited for them, and then you're kind of like, oh, there's only 3 games today, so it's not as exciting. But I think we learn a lot from these type of days. Just like yesterday, it wasn't a lot of games. I think there was 5, and felt like a good day, right? A good day to learn and focus in on certain teams and learn about certain teams. I like it. So I think today's hopefully will be similar to yesterday.
Yeah, 100%. And it's really helpful whenever we don't just have an overwhelming amount like tomorrow, because personally, I would love to watch all the games and see how the players are playing and developing. But, on Saturdays, you can just kind of catch what you can. But yesterday was really nice. They had them spread out. We were able to basically watch all the games individually with no interruptions. And the games that blew out, we were able to, walk away from at the end of the night. So I like it. It's a lot of stuff that we can really focus in on. And even, behind the scenes, just so, we're more transparent with you guys, there's definitely some plays that, are very mid-tier that we're speculating on. But it's good for us too. Like yesterday, for example, we had a guy who was just in the starting lineup, Big Dane, and he ended up, being an absolute smash play. But with stuff like that, there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's, more data that we would like to see in more games. So it's been nice. Days like that, we learn a lot, and next time that just means, that player we were speculating on is good to go, and we're going to have a solid play in that return. So I'm excited. We got one player here, Bruce. He's been our absolute under assist wagon. Yesterday was at plus money again. So, that was such a spectacular find again. One of our most, arguably he's got to be the most played player we've had in this last month, right?
Yeah, like every time they just keep putting it at 4.5, and he keeps getting 3. But that's why I was saying when I jinxed us, when he had 0 at halftime and they ended up with 5, that game was actually good for us as far as long term, right? Because we're like, oh, it's cool, we'll just bet the under again next week or next game. And then they did it again, then they gave it 4.5 again because he got the 5 earlier. So we're like, oh, cool, we just got it twice because we missed the 1. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really mad. One time we missed on him.
No.
But right, we're like 4-1 with Big Bruce. Like, thank you, I'll take that.
Yeah, and it's bound to happen. It's same situation whenever we take unders or an over on somebody who's just been really consistent. It happens. Nick Martinelli, for example, the guy's been a walking 20 bomb, it seems like, for forever, and then he just came up short with 16 out of the 16 and a half. So it does happen, but you got to think about again the long term. The Thornton, we played him at least 5, if not 6 slates in a row. If we lose one time, it's going to happen, but the winning record is going to outweigh that by far. So think long term. Always think long term, right? Always. We always just want our account balances moving up. And not every day, because days happen, but moving up. If you're moving up every week, you're feeling good. Have a bad week? Eesh. You have 2 bad weeks, time to reassess something. But just saying, we're going to move up. That's the plan. Well, let's kick off today talking about a good under, one that you felt pretty solid about, and one that also seems to have a bit of a line discrepancy between site to site. So right now on FanDuel and Underdog, any of you pick 'em sites, it's going to be Underdog, I believe, almost exclusively, but Trey Kaufman-Renn, 20.5 points is way too high. Purdue's just been an absolute monster at the house. They've been blowing out teams left and right. So, 1, I wouldn't be surprised to see it be a blowout. But 2, his on-court matchup, I'm predicting today it's going to be a lot more difficult, assuming Indy's head coach isn't just a complete moron. So I say that because we have Big Ballo on the other side, who, if they were to leave in positional matchups, he would technically be covering their center and not the 4 with TKR here. But I think that this coach is going to wise up and put Ballo to cover Trey here and leave their power forward to cover the center. Purdue center is a very low usage guy. He only plays like 25 minutes and doesn't really bring as far as like scoring upside. So I don't think they're going to lean on him in that regard. I'd be really shocked if coach decided to leave Malik Renew to cover TKR. Now, I think that could be a little bit more scary just because, Malik really hasn't looked the same since he came back from injury. And TKR has got a little bit of size on him. So fingers crossed. If we get this scenario, I think this is a phenomenal under. Ballo is stout defender. TKR does not have a three-point and not really even a deep mid-range shot. He's very close to the inside of the paint and almost exclusively trying to get to the free throw line and, the layups and stuff underneath. So I think he's got, a very difficult matchup here if this coach has any kind of common sense and actually plays in that regard. We could also see Purdue go in a little bit more of a smaller lineup too, with first, as I mentioned, their center for Purdue. He's been kind of subject to that second unit, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see that happen and they just play small on both sides. Just leave Ballo out there with TKR and they run a bunch of forwards in the guard set. I'm really hoping Indy's coach is just not a moron here. That would make all the sense in the world, but I like this under for TKR. It's also 2 points higher than his season average. He only is averaging just at 18 points as well. So we're essentially getting a 3-point tax. And for this line specifically at 20.5, I think it's a real solid play.
Yeah, man. I agree because he, if you look at his logs that you're looking at there, it's like he's a lot of times only scoring up in those over 20s against shit teams or teams with not that good a defense. And not saying Indiana has the best defense, but I'm saying a lot of times he's under this 20 marker. Like a lot of times. So a couple of times when he got over it, but most of it was more in the beginning of the season when they were playing the poo-poo teams. So he did it against Ohio State, but remember, we know about Ohio State. They give it up, right? Yep. You were saying yesterday.
They're centers.
So the other one was Oregon, but then if you take Oregon away, bro, he hasn't got 21 in 5 games against good teams. So if Indiana can just hold him a little bit, I know they're at home. I know Purdue is good, but I think they can hold him down, bro. 21's a lot to ask. He could get there, but that's what unders are about. He could get there, but we're betting he's not. And it's not going to hurt more because he goes over than if we bet it over and the guy went under. It's not going to hurt that he goes over. Just keep betting the unders. You'll see they hit more than the overs. Takes that little bit of time, right? People don't want to bet unders at first. Like, oh, I don't know. He scares me. But, hey, fuck it if he goes over. He's going to go over less than if we did it over, guys. It's just real. You know.
Yeah. He's almost a 70% on the season to stay under this. So, looking at the 2 most recent games that he got over, those were both at the cost of double-digit free throw attempts. And clearly, we're his season high. He had 15 and 10 in 2 of those games. So, you subtract that, and that makes that hit rating like even worse than what it looks like. It's just one of those plays where like the books refuse to adjust his line, and we played him the other day at the same thing. I think even last slate we took his under, but if they're not going to adjust his lines and leave him inflated compared to his season average, and even with his more recent performance average, just one of those things, you got to zig when they zag.
Yeah, it's all about catching them before they change up, like how we took Mobley like at the perfect time. Because actually, you know what? We're going to talk about it later, but I don't want to spoil the Mobleyness. but I'm just saying, like, sometimes the bookies are just a little bit behind, and you got to catch them. This is one of those times. He could go over, like I said, but if he gets 15, he's going to start being 18 and a half starting next game, and we're not going to get 20 and a half anymore, unless he goes the fuck off against some team. But he's not that kind of dude. Purdue's kind of spread out. They don't really just give it to him and let him go, and 21's a lot for a college player. So I like it.
Yeah, man. I think it's got solid value today. And it's not like, Braden Smith or CJ Cox, for that matter. He's actually been one of their kind of step-out performers lately. He moved in the starting lineup almost 10 games ago. Yeah, 8 games ago. It actually offers scoring upside compared to the last guard that they had. Not a high volume shooter, but he at least gives them a little bit more reach outside of the perimeter. But I think that, this team, they just have so many players that are solid outside of, really the center. I got to single him out, just, low production guy. But the other 4 guys, very solid. I don't think Braden Smith will have too much problem or too many problems with Miles Rice on the other side. And CJ Cox, like I mentioned, being a starter or more recent starter, he's actually got some size against Anthony Leaf on the other side of things here. So, they just play a really good fundamental ball. And in the off chance that the game blows out too, for sure these guys are going to come out early.
Yes, sir. I like how you broke that down. It sounds even better now that we talked it through. So, it's fucking betting, so he could go over. But I'm not mad at it. G-Man wrote me earlier and asked me about it. He said, well, how much do you like that? I said, well, it's a small slate. It's not the best play in the world that we would play if we had 100 plays, but it's an average play. It's an average good play. So I don't feel too bad about it. But like I said, it's not the best play in the world. Don't go crazy. Easy half unit, 1 unit if you just want to have fun. But it's decent.
Yeah, man. I maybe wouldn't say it's an S tier or an A tier style of play, but a solid 7.5 out of 10, I would say, with all things considered.
Yeah. If you need 70% to feel good about winning, I say 75% it hits, so I'm not mad about it.
Yeah,
that's
7
about
out
it.
of 10. I mean, in betting odds, I could live with those percentages every day.
Yeah, exactly. That's when we get down to the fucking nuts and bolts of the shit. When we go, okay, what's that minus 120? Oh, that means this percentage. We need him to go for this percentage in our mind more than that if we want to play that play. Because I don't want minus 120. I want minus 110, or I'm passing. That's when we turn into gangsters.
Yeah, full value. We're the best value.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so moving on, let's talk about our last play that we got for today, and then we'll get caught up on all the questions, comments, see if anybody's got any ideas, maybe stuff that we haven't looked at yet on the radar, and then we'll talk about one play that we have for tomorrow already, and then we'll just kind of briefly touch on, Mobley and Thornton for Sunday. We've talked about them enough, at great length, especially yesterday in the show, so we'll just do a bit of a refresher there, and probably circle back to more in-depth. Not that we need much more depth, because God knows we've talked about especially Thornton enough, but we'll kind of circle back to these a little bit more for tonight's show. Sit down, baby. All right, so next up we got Big Sorbo and a nice potential middle bet. So it looks like the fantasy sites haven't really talked to each other yet, and they're just kind of leaving him out there. Underdog opened Sorber at 39.15 fantasy, and I believe he's at 38.15, so you could still technically get this middle bet in, but 39 and some change there, and then 34.5 on PrizePicks. So that's a really low line, an obvious discrepancy between the two of them. Sets up for a good middle bet. We did post a middle bet in the Discord, so again, links down below if you guys want to get access to that. 7-day free trial, we're still running it there. What are these fantasy sites doing, man? This is just obviously wrong.
I don't know. I don't understand. You've been catching these a lot, and I really haven't looked into them because I just don't even really look at fantasies. I just leave it to you. So I don't know what they're doing, bro. Why? You tell me. What the fuck are they doing? Why are they 5 off?
Yeah, so if I had to guess, PrizePicks has been usually really sharp on their fantasy lines, especially. So I think if I had to guess, PrizePicks is more right in this situation than this 38.5 is definitely just a touch too high. The game total isn't anything too crazy. It's only 138.5. So it's not like we're getting an egregious pace up. Both sides of the ball play pretty decent defense overall, and McCaffrey is no slouch on defense either. And one thing that I've noticed, again, Sorber, he's been a phenomenal player, but he's still coming with the turnover downside. And unless he's just really, really racking up the stocks again, that's asking for 40 fantasy is just a really, really high bar. So just kind of show you guys the difference between the two. 34.5, 60% hit rating. Looks solid. I feel pretty good about that, overall. On a different slate, I would probably love this fantasy line, but tougher matchup. So, but yeah, this 38.5, I mean, we lose an entire 10% off of the hit rating. He drops down to just 50% flat on the season. And also, I mean, he had 2 games here in the mix. That was at 39 and 39.4. So the original line was even better. It was like a 47% hit rating or 46, something like that. But yeah, still the 38.15 is just a touch too high. He should be right around this 33 to 35 range.
Okay, and that's on Underdog. So you're going under on the Underdog.
Yeah, under on the Underdog and then over on PrizePicks.
Oh my gosh, what the heck do you play on PrizePicks? Just get a DZ play, huh?
Yeah, I mean, hey, DZ's already had some fire this morning. We should be able to hopefully pair some of it if PrizePicks will catch up and drop some of the board for tomorrow. They've been a little stingy with their prop selections today, or at least the slate selection. Looking at old scam picks real fast, though, they did have the obvious Flex Friday thing, but they also offered a free Kevin Durant prop, so that at least is something, good from PrizePicks aspect. So make sure to check your promo tab.
Oh god, scam picks.
Oh, scam picks.
Oh gosh. No
yeah, so
scam.
they still...
Oh, it hurts.
We're getting a few props for tomorrow. So PrizePicks is starting to add a little bit of stuff, but way behind. Underdog's got way more stuff up right now.
Underdog is better than shit picks. We should do a little ranking system on all the sites. And do a little rank and then put what they're good for beside it. And be like, here is your guide to actually winning. Oh, stay on PrizePicks. Oh, why is that at the very bottom? Well, because if you're only playing on PrizePicks, you're not winning. Okay.
Exactly.
got
All right.
You got some Yates now? Or are you going to the other one?
Yeah. So, I mean, Yates also just another one of our wagons. I mean, we've been playing him for the last almost 2 weeks straight now. He's been with the starters for 11 games now and been a performer. This is going to be, yes, I will say, a bit of a tougher matchup. Michigan State is definitely no slouch, but USC is at home, and they've been playing really fundamental ball there. And, I mean, for me, this is just still way too low of a line. Like we talked about this last game, I definitely cautioned about the RA upside because he's been so hit or miss with that. And I know this looked phenomenal, this looked beautiful and all that, yada, yada. But RA, been a bit back and forth. And there's another player, too, that I kind of want to just briefly touch on who I think is sucking up all this extra RA usage that, is kind of a thorn in the side. But 12.5 for him, just way too low. I mean, dude's been averaging almost 15 points a game since he started. And some of these... Like Wisconsin was definitely a bit of a tougher matchup, but his on-court matchup today, I think for this game is going to be really solid. He's got 2-inch height and wingspan, or 2-inch height and then even additional wingspan, but also he's got about 30 to 40 pounds more just, lean muscle than his opponent that's going to be guarding him. At the house, 12.5. I mean, sign me up. I'm just going to play this dude until they either one bump him or he just has an unfortunate little hook where he ends up with 11. But everything else, he's been crushing this.
Yeah, I feel you. Got to go back to him, man. I haven't even looked into it a lot, but 12.5, wow. And then that says FanDuel up there. It's on FanDuel at 12.5.
Yeah, FanDuel and Underdog seems like they're kind of aligned in their props right now. So Underdog is definitely in the wrong here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them move before FanDuel.
Weird how FanDuel pops up like that too at 12.5. It for sure should be 13.5, right?
Oh, 1,000%. And this is also like with your Mobley play yesterday, where we doubled down on them. They're just going off of odds. Like the pick'em sites have no idea what the lines should actually be, the payouts actually should be. It's just the flow of the money, and then whatever FanDuel and DraftKings are just opening their lines at. And half the time they've been kind of wrong.
That's great. Yeah. So basically, you know how we talk about beating the bookies and stuff. A lot of it obviously is because that's where they give us the money, but really it's all the other people moving the lines too. So if you see something off and the other people around you aren't betting that the right way, you get a deal. So that makes it easier already if you know what you're doing. I like that. I like that.
Oh man, I meant to also circle back from yesterday. So we had a couple of plays that I'm glad, one we took a shot on and one we faded because thank God they moved his line. But Kern was an absolute disappointment. He just, wasn't able to go out. He had foul trouble. And the time that he was on the court, he was kind of struggling too. And there was somebody else. It was our hedge play for, Boswell. Boswell, number one play on the PrizePicks board, and I told you guys that PRA was an absolute trap. He didn't even come close to the RA, but he did score, I believe, 8 points. So, I mean, there was a little bit of life as far as the actual point side that we targeted. But, bro, that PRA, womp, suckered. I think there was 20,000, 12,000 people, whatever it was. Yeah, knew that was a trap.
I wonder if they do those little numbers and they keep true to them, because you could really scam people if you want to put a play that you personally know the bookies messed up. That's the best right there. They know the bookies messed up in a certain way, and then they put it on the board and say, "Hey, we had 125,000 people bet this." And how many people just do that because they put it there? They could just lie about that number too. Who told you that number is that? They tell you in the contract. Fucking cheating bastards. Every angle.
Oh, so another one too we had talked about was Brandon Angel from Oregon. He was one of the other number one plays. Big guy at 7.5 points ends the game with 7. I told y'all, man, the last 3 games were total flukes, just random spike usage. He came out and played a normal game, had 7 points.
Yep. And those green bars got you. This
guy, I think, might be the same thing. Old Biz Jack. This dude's been right at 7 to 8 points.
You can't be mad at someone's name, but that name just sounds like he shouldn't go over.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, can't help it.
But another player who was a starter, came off the bench, and then came back. And we talk about this all the time. Anytime guys come back from an injury, come back from a lineup switch, whatever the situation, they always pop off that first game. So he snapped off, had his I'm going to assume is going to be one of his season high, definitely a season high field goal attempts. Had another middling game right after that, which was a blowout. So I think maybe that's a little inflated. And then they played a real team, and he had 8 points this last game. So wouldn't be surprised to see the guy in with either 7 or 8 points again today.
Okay, yeah. Fuck them. Like how you caught on to him yesterday, right, and it panned out. What's happening?
Oh, man, I'm taking a quick stretch here. I think that's pretty much it as far as, the stuff that's going to be for today and tomorrow. Mobley, we talked about yesterday, stepping into more of a ball handling, facilitating role. Plus, he got hot from the field, so coach is still giving him his trust to take the green light shots. And then Bruce Thornton, I think we're just going to go back to the well one more time, try this 3.5 under. I mean, he's been living at 3 for the last, 12 games almost straight. So if he gets 4, that's cool. Hey, move him back to 4.5. Go on and bump him up.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful matchup for him to not get 4 even. So fuck it. Try it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, let's, if we got any questions, comments, we will roll through those. And I think we're going to get out of here a little bit earlier today. Like I mentioned, this first game does start in just under an hour from now. And I really want to try and be at my computer in about an hour and a half when this first game or the second game kicks off. We should start seeing props for tomorrow really start dropping.
Yep. Tonight's stream will be good, and we'll have a lot of plays for tomorrow morning. They got it. They put them up because the games are so early. I wake up and we're halfway through the day already. I'm like, what do we do? We winning, guys? So I got to get my plays in tonight. So the streams are good for me. Q Donkey says, might use PrizePicks today to just get my money back at least. Sorry, guys. Guess what, bro? I read that and I thought to myself, and I was like, nah, use PrizePicks, bro. Use them. Just don't use them as your main thing. Use them when you know you have an advantage. Just make sure you're taking their money and not giving them money. That's all.
Yep. I play on there on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then if they ever drop a random thing like that, cool.
Yeah. Just don't go there as your main site and be like, "Oh, let me wake up and look at props. Let me see what PrizePicks has." Don't do that. That's all I'm saying. Q Donkey says, boring slate today. You like any unrivaled plays? I know you were looking at it earlier, right? He said, or is it stay away?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of pending news that we need to find out for today. Jackie Young was present at their practice and shoot around this morning, so real good shot that she ends up suiting up today. Looks like they're holding back on Lace's props for that reason. So, I mean, we don't have anything to play in that regard. I will say Brittany Griner is a very appealing play again. I mean, she's not playing those increased minutes like we thought, but her on-court matchup is going to be really interesting. So, assuming we see the same starting three that we had the last two slates in a row for both of these teams, it should be Reese, Copper, and Gray, and then we'll have Sabali, Cloud, and Sabrina. So that's going to leave BG going up against Azura Stevens, who I don't think can contain her. And albeit this last game, I know Satu did get into foul trouble, so she ended up sitting pretty early. But regardless of that, I mean, I think that Stevens is going to really have a problem being able to handle Grinder, and they can't afford to double like at all in this league to begin with. But this matchup in particular, you really can't afford to double either Sabrina or Satu, or double Grinder and then leave Sabrina or Satu, because both of them are a threat for a slasher and also a threat from beyond the arc. So they're going to have to play man, and I just don't think that she's going to be able to hang with her, to be honest, dude. So 12.5 is a little bit low. We've had a really wide range of outcomes from Griner, but I mean, the fact that she dropped double digits this last game and cleared this, I think it was like 15 or 16 points, but she did also drop a 30 bomb the game before that. So, I mean, there's a really high potential ceiling for her. It's just the minutes, and yeah, really the minutes.
Was she on the trading block, or did she get traded already? I forget. What happened with her? Do you know?
Yeah, so both Griner and Brianna Jones got picked up by Atlanta.
Okay. So when did that happen? Was that like super duper recent? Like a couple of days ago? Yesterday. Okay, this is my thing then. I don't know shit about this Unrivaled. I'm listening to what you're saying, but do you think maybe because she just got traded, she'll have that extra just, I'm back. Like, I got a new life. She might come out there and try to ball.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, the only problem with her is just the minutes and like how they try and fit her into the offense. Because the one game she really came up short, it just kind of seemed like they expected her to do everything and she had to set the offense, and she was just kind of figuring out that one game. But now that we have, 2 solid games under our belt with her coming off the bench and them kind of just doing this approach, it's really the minutes. Like, that's the only thing. If we can get anything from 13 to 14 minutes and beyond, I think we're golden. And if she goes out and plays, 20 to 30 minutes again, then obviously that's a free square. But they still only have 5 players. So, they're down a body. And Sabrina still dealing with that, thumb issue has got to be somewhat of a factor. But yeah, if BG can't go out and put up 13 to 14 points at least on Stevens, then, I don't know what to say.
Well, speaking of thumbs, E, we have 13 likes. How do you feel about that?
If we could get at least 15 likes for short and streamed, I could be happy with that.
15, E? That's only 2 more. You set your bar too low, E. 15?
Well, at least. It's a small slate, so we got to give them a pass. And we'll have a double stream today, so I know you guys are going to be getting that 25 tonight.
Oh yeah. Tonight will be cool. Tonight we'll have more people excited about all the plays. Cause today they're still fun, but yeah, there's only a few games, so we can talk some shit. Googly-eyed UFC ring girl says, I still tail the Yates play. I just feel it in my tits. That's a dud spot tonight for him, but let's ride. So she's liking Yates too. And E likes it when I say that word. Look at him. See?
No, that just makes me giggle.
You said Yates is the... What's up? There's more.
No, I'm just reading.
Oh. Yates is the same exact play as Kearns last night. Same situational player and role. Be careful with it. Don't buy the low line. Cheese if it don't taste good after. I'm not good at reading, but what did that mean?
No, I mean, so from what I gathered, it feels like maybe this could be a Kern play, which I get. Kern, there's been a few more unknowns. He's had somewhat more of a limited start. And really, I think it was just a foul trouble. He had a mental game where him picking up that third and fourth foul was just really him just like, oh, whatever. I mean, the coach tried to get us there. He came back in with 4 fouls, I think at like 6 or 7 minutes left in the game. So, I mean, the coach had the utmost faith in him. He just, picking up that fourth foul really hurt. And I think that damaged his mental game more than anything.
I think for this play in particular, though, Kern was like just a lean. We weren't really expecting it to hit 100% at all. Not 100, but we weren't even expecting 70. We were like, 60% or something like that. But this Yates play, to me, this is a play where the bookies got it too low. So I like this play. The Kern play, we didn't even play. So it was like...
Right.
Yeah, this is totally different, in my opinion. Because we're catching the bookies on a good spot, whereas the Kern we had to reach, they had just adjusted it kind of too far, so. Yeah.
And even the slate before that too, he was a player that, we had kind of speculated on and was on the radar, but he basically, he came in the starting 5, had those 2 really good games, and they were immediately adjusting his props. I mean, it's not like they gave him any wiggle room. And then the bump just put us off of him completely. But whereas Yates in this situation, I mean, we played him at 12.5, 11.5, no questions asked every single time. And he's been able to perform for us. So it just seems, like you mentioned, this is a line error. He should be 13.5 points at least, or 14.5 by now. And if they're going to dare us to go back to him, sure, I'm with it. I'll try it again.
Yeah, Yates is pretty much their number 1 scorer. Think about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have a few, but he's kind of the 1A, 1B dude, and Kern is like 3rd, 4th, 5th. He wasn't even starting till a couple weeks ago. So I would never have faith in Kern as much as I have faith in Big Yates tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or Sunday? Tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And had we really... my theory craft for yesterday was the whole situation about Centers versus Ohio State. And had we really, really leaned into it, that would have said, like, hey, Yannick's going to have a really, really good game here, and that's going to come at the cost of somebody on the inside. And it just so happened that, Kern picked up fouls too, which made the situation just even more obvious for Yannick to go off. But had he not gotten the foul trouble, it could have been somewhat of a different game, but be looking out for his props, because that's one of those players where they've moved too far in one direction, and him having such a bad game, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go in the complete opposite direction and just overcorrect.
I just had a thought, bro. You know how we look for props separately, and then we come to the table and go, I like this one, and then you say, oh, I like this one, and then we look at it or whatever. What if we sometimes when these slates are so big, like tomorrow's slate, what if we were like, all right, you take that half and I'll take the other half. And it doesn't mean you don't go over the other ones, but you just start in that direction. So if there's too many, because you know how we get overwhelmed on Saturdays sometimes? Mm-hmm. But like how you looked into Kern yesterday, how you got to watch Ohio State and you learn about what, how they were against Centers and all that doesn't happen on Saturdays. We're just right in a flurry. So I'm saying if we focused, if we said, hey, you do this half, I'll do the other half, and we'll at least know that half better than the half we're kind of rushing to get in at the end. You know what I mean? So then we'll have a better. Anyway, sorry I'm talking about this on the show, but I don't think I probably wouldn't have remembered this if I didn't say it. So I think we should do that. That might be dope for tomorrow.
Sure. Always a way to learn.
Nice. Dr. Boobies says, let's get paid. There's a lot of talk of that here today. Free youngin'. Oh, shit. Oh, I hit the dog bark. My bad. Free youngin'. Hey. Hey, guys. I didn't hear anything. I was really hoping that the free youngin' button was going.
Yeah, man. Definitely free youngin', man. I hope he's doing well. And I know we're going to see him back here soon. So hang tight, buddy.
Small slate, but let's win. Yep. Let's go, guys. Yep. Ant the Kid says, those Ohio State props were free. Thanks. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I read backwards, then I read forwards again. Hey, boys, it's Friday. I'm feeling tipsy and flirty. But first, let's get more winners. Thanks so much for this awesome show. I'm so happy to find this group. E.
Hey, we appreciate you. Make sure you're in the Discord, too. That's where we're, I mean, this is only an hour a day thing on the YouTubes, but we're in there 24/7 in the Discord.
We're
you guys are in there.
We're D-gens, like AOD. Speaking of, love you, mofos. E Modest Money.
Hey, what's up, dude?
E Modest Money, our brother. Undertaker, underrated. Beats 20 watching, need 20 likes. AOD's on our side. 20 watching, need 20 likes. We have 15. E, we hit that 15, but AO says we need 20. Let's see. What else you got?
Well, we'll look at it like this. We'll combine them up from the daytime stream and the nighttime stream, because I know tonight we're going to get at least 25, if not 30 likes again.
Oh, that's easy. Nighttime people have time to actually pay attention. It's funny, but it's true. Will you guys be dropping a Flex Friday in the Discord? Are you dropping a Flex Friday for him?
Yeah, we'll look and see. Again, with it being a smaller slate, we are going to be kind of pressed for some options. I'm really hoping PrizePicks will drop a little bit more here, but I mean, yeah, with it being a protected play, I think we can muster up something here for you guys.
The last comment is Googly Eye UFC Ring Girl again. She says, "Let's smash Yates." Pause. Can you confirm what your play on him was? So if you look at the thing behind E, right, the over 12.5 points is the play. Maybe we should spell that out, because that's just my little stupid way of writing it. If we wrote over 12.5, you think that'd be better? Just for people who see it?
Yeah. Or, I mean, I can show you guys here also on the Underdog. I got them all queued up. So just to recap real fast for you guys, there's going to be Trey Kaufman-Renn under 20.5 points. Wesley Yates over 12.5 points. And then we got our Sunday plays was John Mobley, 18.5 PRA, or the 2.5 assist at plus money, as well as Bruce Thornton, our wagon, under 3.5 assists.
Oh my gosh.
Then the Sorber was the hedge play. So 34.5 fantasy over on PrizePicks, and then we were taking the under on Underdog.
I hope they got it. Hope they don't be like, man, I played the Sorber over 39.15 and I lost.
Well, if you ever need a reference to, we always end the show, at least for sure, we always end the show with this up on the screen, so you guys can always just skip back towards the end of the show and hit the pause button if you ever missed any plays or have any questions. But we also we recap this specific screenshot in the Discord too, so you won't miss out there.
And if there's any news, we'll adjust it and change up things before tips and all that stuff. I mean, that's a huge part too. Sometimes we add a couple plays before tip. We did a couple days ago. So get in the Discord if you want to stay in touch the right way, because honestly, those are the plays, man. If a lineup switches or something, we can't jump on stream and be like, hey, put this in. That's where the money's made. So if you're in the Discord, A, you probably want money. B, you're probably smart. C, you're not. You know what I mean, though. It's like, that's what I would do. If I was sitting here watching the show, there's no way I wouldn't be in the Discord, too. I don't know.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
You can make a little money on the show. You can make a lot of money in the Discord. Not that hard, guys.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, I think that's going to be about it for today. Did you have anything else to add before we get out of here?
Nah, man, just free youngin, small slate. C Dot, what's up, bro? And let's just get out of here and get to the games. We got a few to watch and a lot to get to for tonight.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. We appreciate it. And again, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We will be going live later on this evening at 1 a.m. Eastern. So just a heads up on that. And we'll see you guys in the Discord. Good luck tonight. Catch y'all back here later. Peace.